Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Master of Design Information session. Thank you for joining us today. We're super excited to give you a sneak peek of what we're brewing up here in the Master of Design program. Just before we begin, a brief introduction. My name is Ken. I'm an associate professor in the School of Engineering. I'm also the associate director of innovation. More importantly, I am a father of two. I care deeply about the future, and I care about moving ideas into tangible impacts, and I care about moving students into change makers. And I hope I didn't set the stage too high, but I'm going to pass it off and introduce my co-host. Brittany, you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Brittany Parr. I'm one of the engineering program administrators here. Do a lot of the paperwork, see the admissions side of things. So, yeah, that's what I'm here for. I'm going to pass it off now to my colleague Shannon.
Hello, good morning, everybody. My name is Shannon Hole, and I am the graduate advisor here at the School of Engineering. And today I'm going to be talking about how students can find community at UBC Okanagan. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you, Shannon and Brittany. A few housekeeping items before we jump into the meat of the presentation. First of all, and this is just so that we can optimize the experience for everybody. If you are experiencing any audio issues, you can adjust these through the settings at the bottom of your screen. And if you can't resolve them, just let us know, and we have some staff on hand that can help you troubleshoot. And remember that this is a webinar, so you will not be able to unmute yourself, and you won't be able to turn on your camera. It'll just be us. This session is also designed for you, so feel free to submit questions through the Q&A box below. And just as a quick test of the Q&A box, everybody just pull it up and let's just do a quick test. Everybody put in the box a one word, something that makes you smile, okay? We're just going to test the Q&A box, make sure that it is working. I want to see some beautiful thoughts about things that make you smile. Dogs. I like dogs too. Donuts. Yum. Autumn leaves. That's beautiful. I'm starting to see them around here. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. So we know the Q&A box works. Video games. Okay. Nice. Nice. So now you'll notice that next to the Q&A, there's a thumbs up. So if there are questions that come up during the webinar and you think they're important, you can thumbs up other people's questions and they're going to rise up to the top of the Q&A, and that'll give us a kind of an order of addressing all the questions. Also remember, there's going to be a ton of links that pop up. Again, we have staff on hand manning this session. Those links will direct you to resources related to the Master of Design. You can click on those and it will not force you out of this webinar, okay? So just remember, you're going to see these links pop up as we talk. You can click on them, you can check them out. You will not leave the Zoom webinar if you click on those links. Also, some of you might find closed captioning helpful. I've tested out closed captioning with this webinar. It is scary accurate and it is really on top of the speaker. So it's crazy. It's crazy how it works. If you need to turn on the closed captioning, there's a button at the bottom here. And finally, if you can't stay on for the entire session, I hope you do. But if you can't stay on for the whole session, we're going to have a full recording of the session available after the webinar, and it's going to be posted up online so you can check it out, or you can zoom into the parts that that you missed. Sounds good? Okay, so first of all, I do want to begin by speaking about the place in which the Master of Design is situated. We're very fortunate to be able to work, play, live in the traditional unceded territory of the Syilx Okanagan people. When I think about the land on which this beautiful campus is situated, in which my family has lived, in which my kids have played, I really come to deeply appreciate the generosity, both of the land and of the people. The people that have come before me, that have taken such great care of it, the people that are with me now, who I get to work and collaborate with, and the people that are going to come before me. Uh, my family, my family and I have been super fortunate to be able to make this valley our home. My kids have grown up here. They swim in the lake, they bike the trails, they explore the mountains, and over time, all these threads that have tied us to this land have grown only stronger and stronger. I really do feel this is a place where life and learning are deeply connected. It's a place where ideas don't just stay in the classroom, they actually live and breathe in the community. So it's with this spirit of connection, of collaboration, and stewardship that we are gathered here today to talk about the future and the future of some of you in this room today. So what you're seeing on the screen is a beautiful shot of the UBC Okanagan campus. UBC Okanagan is the campus in the UBC system, which is ranked top 40 in the world. It is truly world class. But I think what makes UBC Okanagan special is its scale and its setting. So if you do choose to come here, you're going to be part of a tight-knit campus. It's surrounded by amazing natural beauty. And what's also amazing is that the people in this valley are starting to grow a budding innovation ecosystem. So Kelowna really has become a hub of technology, design, and entrepreneurship. There's startups. I've been fortunate enough to start a few of my own and grow them into full-fledged companies. There's design firms, there's clean tech initiatives right near the campus too. So it's just bustling with energy. And there's also creative industries, and they're all thriving in this region and they're all finding their place in the world. And as I alluded to before, I really think that in the Okanagan, there is a certain type of energy here that you won't find in maybe some of the bigger cities or in some of the smaller cities that are comparable to Kelowna. Here, there's an openness to new ideas. There's a willingness to build things that haven't been built before. And that's really one of the reasons why I've chosen to make Kelowna my home. It's a place where I can think big, I can imagine big, but it's close enough that I can see the direct impact of the work that I do. So here's an overview of the Master of Design program that we're unveiling. It is a 12-month full-time in-person program that we're excited to launch in May 2026. It's really designed for people who want to move beyond just theory, beyond just learning in the classroom, and they want to work hands-on with real-world challenges. And how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to do that by running a bit of an experiment, right? The Master Design is really one of these unique programs where we're going to bring students and faculty like a normal program would, but we're also bringing industry and community partners right into the classroom with you so that you can co-create solutions to the most pressing problems. And these problems, we don't know what they are yet. And that's the amazing thing about the Master Design. We're going to adapt to what our partners and our community, what they surface to us. But some of these problems could encompass sustainability, they could encompass health, they could encompass technology creation, they could be social innovations, or they could be entirely new business models. So what I'm describing here is what I would call a highly porous program, meaning that the walls that typically separate university from its community, well, those walls we want to dissolve. We want the distinction between university, industry, and community to be super thin so that ideas are flowing back and forth. And we've situated this master design so that it sits right at the intersection of all these amazing institutions. We have university, we have industry, we have community, and at the heart of it, we're all about creation of knowledge and most importantly, the application of that knowledge. A common question I get is, hey, it's in the School of Engineering. Are you only looking for engineers? Absolutely not. Okay. We are housed in the School of Engineering because the School of Engineering has deep ties to a lot of the local industries and communities in the Okanagan. That gives us a conduit to access their problems. But what we really want are engineers, artists, scientists, business leaders, architects, social science, people in the creative and critical studies. We want those people to come with us and join in this diverse problem-solving team. Okay. Now that being said, we want people with all backgrounds, but you have to bring three things. Okay, you got to bring three things if you want to join the Master of Design program. You have to bring curiosity. Okay, what I mean is you have a desire to explore and you're willing to ask why not. Number two, you have to bring a growth mindset. There has to be a willingness to learn, unlearn, and collaborate. And three, you have to bring what I call vitality, and that is an energy to build, to create, and to engage really deeply. Now, David, I see your hand up, and I'm just going to we're just going to go through this webinar first, and then we're going to have a Q&A session, and we're going to be able to chat a lot about some of these ideas I'm talking about, because I know these ideas sound a little different, right? And you're going to be wondering what we're talking about, but I promise you we're going to have time to dive into it. So what you're seeing on screen right now are the four cornerstones of the Master of Design program: design, innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship. And I'm going to unpack a little bit about how I see these pillars and how myself and the colleagues that I'm working with to deliver the Master of Design program to you, I'm going to talk about how we collectively view these four simple words, okay? First, design. When we say design, we're not thinking about just aesthetics or just the design of an object. Really, it's about design of systems, design of relationships, design of meaning. It's how we make sense of complexity and how we enact intentional change. How do we design for and with our clients so that we are opening up options into new possibilities? Secondly, innovation. When we talk about innovation, we are not talking about invention, okay? And that's where it's like, hey, that's where, you don't just have to be an engineer, right? We're not talking about invention. We're talking about renewal. Innovation is about seeing things differently. It's about bringing together unlikely collaborators, which is at the very heart of our recruitment strategy. And it's about bringing ideas that don't normally meet so that new possibilities, new options open up. Third, creativity. Creativity for us is not just about thinking in isolation. Creativity is really about a way of being. It's being willing to dwell in ambiguity, to imagine alternatives, to experiment without failure, and to be creative with others holding a different perspective from yourself. Finally, entrepreneurship. Now, I know a lot of you think entrepreneurship is associated with startups, but actually, entrepreneurship is much broader. What we mean by entrepreneurship, what we think about when we say entrepreneurship, is we mean acting with agency. So that means it's about taking ideas and giving it life. And it could be in a startup. And by the way, we have some amazing educators who are especially skilled at nurturing ideas into startups. But it could also be policy, it could be new social ventures, or it could be new programs and ideas within existing organizations. And that's what we call an intrapreneur. But what these four ideas form, and this is really important because it's hard to communicate this on a website or on a pamphlet, but I can kind of do it here with you. What these pillars communicate is a new type of moral and creative ecology. And it's one that values both rigor and imagination, mind and heart, thinking and doing. So here's a rough program breakdown. We've listed the courses. We've listed when you're going to take the courses. As I promised, it is a 1-year intensive program. What you don't see are the course details. And by the way, that's intentional. We are not going to deliver a program where we deliver the same content every single year. That would actually undermine some of the principles of the Master of Design. Instead, what we're doing is we're going to be creating cohorts of students. We're going to be inviting industry and community partners to come into the program too. And every year we're going to look at the composition and we're going to be like, okay, what content makes sense for this group so we can maximize the likelihood of them delivering tangible impact. Okay? But these courses are containers, which will give you time and space to work with our amazing faculty. So key thing, we believe that this program is really about design and innovation. So it is in and of itself a living, breathing system. Each year, the curriculum is going to adapt to the cohort of students, their backgrounds, and the types of partners we bring in. So you won't just take part, you're not just taking courses. You're going to be building projects that cut right across all these courses. And faculty don't just stand here lecturing to you. Faculty are going to guide you through these design studios, workshops, and collaborations. And the key here, you're going to be in those classrooms with your partners. It's going to be a place where theory meets real world practice. So really, when you're thinking about the program, it's going to be way less about memorizing content, more about developing capacity and capability. How do you frame problems properly? How do you navigate super complex situations? How do you lead creative teams? And how do you communicate these ideas in a way that inspires others to act with you, for you, and alongside you? I know a lot of you are like, hey, I never heard of a master design program before. What am I going to be? What am I going to do after experiencing this program? And listed here are a few career options that we designed the program for. I'm not going to read these out to you. Instead, I'm going to talk about kind of our intentions behind the outcomes for you. The key thing here is that, yes, you will have a professional master's degree when you leave. Yes. Uh, you probably will be a lot more marketable in the job market. But what's most important here is that you will have a portfolio of real world impact. And that's the thing that employers are really looking for. Yeah. I see the CV, I see their resume, but what do they actually do? What type of person are they, right? These are things that are really hard to capture in a resume, but I'm going to try to describe them to you here. You're going to leave as someone who can see patterns that others miss. You're going to leave here as somebody who can lead interdisciplinary teams. You're going to leave this program as someone who can translate insight into strategy and action. And you're going to leave here as someone who can bridge the gap between imagination and implementation. I know that these types of people are valuable in innovation labs. I know they're valuable in design consulting firms. I know they're super valuable in startups. They're super important in policy think tanks and NGOs. There's so many places where somebody with those capabilities can contribute. So, and finally, of course, you may potentially be somebody that starts something entirely on your own. So I want you to look beyond the job titles. Our real goal here is to help you become the kind of person who can create meaning and momentum in the world. We're super lucky to situate the Master of Design in the UBC system and in the Okanagan campus. UBC Okanagan has some really beautiful spaces for design and making, including the makerspace. You see an image here of me staring intently at a 3D printer with a couple students. It has 3D printers, CNC machines, and fabrication tools. We have a beautiful collaborative studio space for the cohort, so you can work and learn together and get to know each other and the faculty. And of course, we have access to research labs, entrepreneurship hubs, and community innovation centers, both on the campus and in the beautiful city of Kelowna. The key thing here, we're designing this to be a studio-based learning community one that encourages experimentation, collaboration, and creates a sense of belonging. So, closing notes before I pass it off to Brittany. We are in the early days of shaping this program, and that's why it's so exciting. I hope you can hear the excitement in my voice. If you're here today, you're already part of the story. So, and I thank you for taking the time today to join us. The people that join our first cohort, the people that join us when nothing yet exists, they're the most important cohort. This first cohort is going to shape the DNA of MDes, and we're looking for those who really want to build something special with us. So I really encourage you, bring your curiosity, bring your energy, bring your ideas, and let's design something really amazing together. And with that, I'm going to pass it off to Brittany.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chow. That was very informative. I hope that everyone else felt as impressed with the scope of this program as I did. Right now, I'm going to go through the admissions process and requirements for all of you so that you know what you need and what you can expect. So you need to have a bachelor's degree of some kind from engineering or technical or business or creative or arts. Basically anything where you think that you can take your background and funnel it into this program as described by Dr. Chow just now. You need to meet the minimum academic requirements, which for here would be a 76 UBC or a B plus in a lot of Canadian institutions, 3.3. We also have an international equivalency manual if you have international education, because we also take students with international background. You need proof of English language proficiency. This is dependent upon your bachelor's degree language. If you took your degree and it is verifiable with English language, you don't need any other additional requirements. If not, you might need an IELTS or a TOEFL. We have a link on the College of Graduate Studies for what we accept for English language proficiency. And these are the program-specific requirements. So when you make your application, you will need to pay the online application fee, which is 118 domestic and 168 international, give or take. Please provide your CV or resume, names of 2 referees. You don't have to get them to pre-submit something. You just need to provide us 2 referees. So if we need to reach out to them, we can reach out to them specifically. Please include your unofficial transcripts for all post-secondary schools you've taken. If you are admitted, you will need to submit official transcripts, but in the application stage, you don't need to do that because those often cost money and we don't want to send you to do that before you have to. Please include a statement of interest, why you want to be in this program, what you can see yourself doing with this program. About 1,000 words, your goals, academic and professional, and why you would be a good fit for this program. If you would like to strengthen your application further, you can have a professional portfolio, up to 10 samples or links to digital work. For example, if you have an arts background, or description of projects completed if you have more engineering or entrepreneurship background. Anything you think would work for a portfolio. Here is a visual just to make it a little more clear, because on the website it might be a little bit confusing. So you click this how to apply button and there's this big orange apply now. So please click on that and then it will bring you directly to the applying to where you should apply. Our cohort begins in May. And our application deadlines, January 9th if you're international, January 30th if you are domestic. So you have time, but I would encourage you to submit your application as soon as possible. We are going to be assessing on a rolling basis. So the sooner you get it in, the sooner you can know if you've been admitted or not. Here are our tuition fees for the past year. Domestic was almost 30 and international was 52-ish. These were 2025 numbers. They might go up depending on the 2026 tuition calendar. These are for the whole program. You will be paying tuition on a term-by-term basis 3 times. The first term in May when you start, in September, and in January. We also are offering a $5,000 scholarship for incoming students. If you're accepted into this program, selection is based on your academic excellence, creativity, and design innovation potential. This is automatically considered when you apply for the program. You don't need a separate application for this scholarship. With that, I'm going to pass this presentation to my colleague Shannon, and she will answer and she will tell you some campus supports and how she can assist you when you get here. Shannon.
Okay, thank you, Brittany. I'll just start by saying my name is Shannon Hall, and I'm the graduate advisor here at the School of Engineering. You can reach Brittany or myself by emailing engineering.graduate@ubc.ca. The support that I provide for students is largely program progression, course registration, problem solving, or directing students to campus supports. But I also do drop-in advising. So currently I'm doing it twice a week for half a day. But if these times do not work for you, that's okay. You can just email me at engineering.graduate@ubc.ca, and we can set up a Zoom time so that I can connect with students. And I go to my next slide. So really what I would like to provide today are campus supports and ways in which new students can find community within the UBC Okanagan system. One of the great links would be the graduate community, because there are so many ways in order for students to meet people and find friends. And I would like to mention again, if you look at the bottom of your screen under resources, you will see some links that I'm highlighting today. So with the graduate community, you can find graduate orientations. You can link up with the graduate community facilitators. You can link up with the Graduate Student Advisory Council and campus supports and workshops. If you are an international student, I highly recommend that you make contact with the Global Engagement Office, or as we call it, the GEO office. They are the experts in assisting international students with immigration resources, health insurance, working while studying, and study permits. But as well, they also have intercultural programming, ways you can community building and do community building and volunteering. There are workshops, there are social events. They are just a great, great organization. Also on campus, we have a student health clinic. So if you're feeling ill, you can definitely stop by and see a nurse. We also have counseling and mental health services and a disability resource center. So the disability resource center would be like if you need assistance for writing an exam or just need a different method of writing, they would be the ones that you would connect with. Now, not everything is about academics. So campus life is a great resource as well, because you can find ways to connect with the UBC Okanagan community or that just Kelowna at large. You can do it through work, through volunteering. There are community events that students can participate in, and you can also sign up for the UBC Student Life Instagram, which will just tell you everything that you need to know. There is an events calendar. And you can use the events calendar for a multitude of issues. You can find out who employers that are coming on campus that you can meet with. There are workshops. There will be yoga sessions, or you can tailor your experience for free events. So really check out the events calendar. Everything that's going on campus will be listed there. We also have a great recreation center. We have sports, intramurals, drop-in gym times. There are fitness classes, personal training, but we also have a number of low barrier and free events as well, like free soccer Sundays, excuse me, free soccer Saturdays, I mean, and there's a free hiking series as well. So check out recreation. It's always good for the body. And then we also have the student associations and clubs. This is a way that you can find a group that matches your interests or, yeah, basically matches your interests. Personally, my favorite club is the Ice Cream Club. This club just sets up a booth, students line up, and you can get free ice cream. So just check it out and find something that fulfills your interests. We also have an association called Picnic, and the focus of Picnic is taking care of students and nurturing their well-being. Picnic offers free take-and-go breakfasts every morning. They have cooking classes. They have nurses on campus. They have workshops. And if you are a student who feels that you don't have enough food, they also provide hampers for students. So it's just a great, great organization. And last but not least, we also have Pride programming. So the Pride programming is a peer-led program for queer identifying students and allies at UBC Okanagan. And they are just a great, great system. And last but not least, I just want to talk a little bit about housing. So we have a couple housing options. Number one, you can find housing for on and off campus. For on campus, if you are interested in on-campus housing in residences, please check the links. Please go to their website and find out about the relevant deadlines that you would need to apply. It's just very important. If you are interested in off-campus housing, we also have a link for off-campus housing support. There is an off-campus housing guide for students, and we also partner with Places for Students. For Places for Students, you can browse listings and find a place to live. Okay. So basically, these are the resources that we have here on campus. And I would like to say, if you are interested in finding out more about the Master of Design program, please visit our webpage, which is engineering.ok.ubc.ca/MDes. Or if you want to connect with Brittany or myself, please reach out to engineering.graduate@ubc.ca. We are here to answer any question that you have. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Shannon. And also, if you want to reach out to me, if you have any questions, my email address is not listed, but it is my full name. So kenneth.chow@ubc.ca.
Thank you very much, Shannon. And I'm going to start the Q&A session. The first question I have is for Dr. Chow. Is this an industrial and physical product design or digital product design?
Great
Okay.
question. One of the challenges with using the word design is that pretty much everybody has a different definition of design. When we are thinking about design, we are thinking about design in really the most general sense possible. The short answer to your question is it could be both, right? Because, and I'll tell you why, it depends on the types of partners and community partners and industry partners that we bring in. Okay, so this is the unique aspect of the program. We are in deep relationship with many partners throughout the valley. They come to us with complex problems, and they often say to us, our problems actually are much bigger than engineering. We would love to be able to work with students from a wide range of backgrounds. So, depending on the types of problems you choose to work on, you may engage in physical or product design. You may engage with app design. You may engage with maybe social design, right? It really does depend on the problems that interest you and the types of teams that you form to tackle those problems. So, I want us to all keep an open mind about what design can mean because it really does depend on the cohort of industry partners that we recruit for every year. I can say that some of the key partners that we are looking at, and this is not saying that they're going to be present at the program, but these are people that we're in conversation with, just like we're in conversation with you, include the city of Kelowna, and I know that they have a diverse range of problems. Some of them are more software based, some of them are physical product based. We are also in deep relationship with a robotics company. Obviously, that would be more like a physical product solution that they're probably looking for, but it might not. They might be looking to change their processes, right? Or help them really reach the next level. So the short answer to your question is it could involve both.
Thank you very much. I have a follow-up question sort of to that. It follows up.
Okay.
It wasn't specifically asked, but it follows up. It was asked, but anyway. How does the program help connect with the industry? Do we get to work with different companies?
Great question. This is really at the heart of MDes. The heart of MDes is, we believe that students are tired of just staying in the classroom and being disconnected from the real world. We believe that students want more than a sanitized in-lecture experience where you just deliver content. We believe that students want to embrace the complexity of the real world and work with people who are out there creating real value for real customers. So the emphatic answer to that question is yes, you're going to be working with different companies, but you're going to be probably picking one key partner to work with throughout your 1 year, okay? So instead of diffusing your efforts across many companies, what we're envisioning is that student teams are going to be working deeply with a key partner. And with that partner, they're going to help frame the problem that they're faced. They're going to help define the problem, define the solution space, select the solution, implement the solution, iteratively improve the solution, and then present something that is of value to the community. So the answer to that is yes.
Can we elaborate on what full-time means? What would this course and studio schedule look like? And what are the expectations, days, hours of the week on campus or outside?
Yeah, full time means you're here in person and you're going to be here, expected to be here roughly, approximately business hours for the full year. Okay. We're designing that intentionally. We want your schedule to be synced with how companies work, right? So it won't work if you're virtual. Honestly, working with companies, it makes a world of difference to be in the space with them, either in the space at UBC or in the space within the company. And ideally you're present when they're working, which is typically 8 to 4, 8 to 5, right? So the expectation is that you're present, you're here, you're immersed for the full year. It's going to be an intensive experience, but we're going to maximize the interactions that you can have with our companies and community partners so that you're going to feel like you're part of their team and they're going to feel like they're part of your team.
Thank you. The next question, how many students will be accepted into this cohort?
Right now, we are in the process of reviewing applications, okay? We do have upper limits. We cannot, we do not want to overwhelm our faculty cohort with a huge class, Okay. So we are trying to keep it to be a relatively small cohort, and it'll be commensurate with the key partners that we attract. Okay. So I can give you what we have in our mind, but of course, as designers, we always adapt to what the reality is. But we were hoping to get 3 to 4 key industry partners. The School of Engineering, by the way, has about a list of 200 partners, and we're in deep relationship with probably like 10, 15, 20 partners. But we really want to narrow it down to 3 to 4 high quality partners, and we want the cohort to be between 10 to 20 would be ideal. You'll notice that we have about 6 or 7 amazing faculty. So the student faculty ratios are going to be really good for this first cohort because, like I said, this first cohort sets the DNA of the program going forward.
Thank you. The next question I will answer. And question is, are international students allowed to work on or off campus part-time? And this depends on the permit that you get. This is something you should discuss with the Global Engagement Office if you want to have employment outside of it. So this is a question that it depends on your permits. So just wanted to clarify that. And then I have another question about the scholarships and funding for international students. We have that one scholarship for the program, and then the program is only 12 months, so we don't have any other funding, but I'm going to let Dr. Chow elaborate on the value of the program.
Yeah, we have the entrance scholarship, which is on the website. Depending on your permit, there may be opportunities to work outside of class hours on and or off campus. And you're going to be working deeply with a company. What the key thing here is that you're going to be connecting with companies in a way. Really, it's like a super networking program because you're going to be solving a problem that deeply matters to them. So I feel like it's not just about the number of connections, but it's always about the quality of connections. And the key thing here is we want you to become a key team member within the innovation ecosystem in the Okanagan.
Thank you. I kind of threw that at you. The next question I have for you, do we get to learn the skills to develop the solutions to these problems? For example, UI, UX to help make a website?
So you'll notice that it's not just engineers, not just engineering faculty that are delivering this program. We are in deep partnership with the Faculty of Creative and Critical Studies. And I know there's some folks there that specialize in, for instance, UX, UI. But if you look at the spectrum of skills amongst the faculty, it is diverse. And so, yes, if you are working on a problem and you need to learn certain skills, let's say UX, UI, we have faculty members who can guide you through those topics. And the key thing here is it's a studio experience. It's a studio-based experience. So the way you learn these skills won't be lecture, test, assignment, right? You're going to be learning these skills as you go. You're going to be learning it with a faculty guide, and you're going to be learning it with people who need a good outcome, okay? Which is probably the best way to learn. So the short answer to your question is yes, you're going to be picking up a diverse range of skills because problems that we encounter are generally more complex than any single field. Okay, so you're going to be forced to learn new skills. And as faculty guides, we're going to be guiding you through that. And of course, passing you off to the relevant faculty who have the right skills to guide you. But yeah, the short answer is yes.
Can we pivot from that? Can you explain what is the difference between this program and, say, an MBA?
Great question. Great question. So I want to stress both MBA and MDes or Master Design. They do focus on solving real world problems and developing leadership skills. but they do so from very different perspectives, okay? The MBA is primarily about managing and optimizing existing systems, okay? So think finance, operations, marketing, strategy. What it equips you to do is to make organizations more efficient and more scalable, okay? That's what you get when you go into MBA. The MDes, on the other hand, is about imagining and creating what doesn't yet exist. Okay, it focuses on human-centered design. It focuses on systems thinking, understanding the system. It focuses on creative problem solving. So instead of thinking, how do we make this better or more efficient, MDes students are asking, what should we create next and why should we create it? Okay. You'll still learn to work across disciplines and collaborate with real partners, but the orientation really with the MDes is about designing solutions, experiences, and futures, not just managing them. Okay, so really takeaway here, MBA, optimization and leadership with existing systems, MDes, innovation and leadership through design and creation.
When you say attached working with companies, is this also part of the curriculum, but as industrial experience or just having industrial experts coming in to host sessions?
Great question. No, it's not going to be a superficial, hey, industry speaker, come in and give a talk. No, 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 no. We are going to be working with the companies, and they're going to be giving us the problems that they really want solved. They really want smart, creative teams to look at, but they don't necessarily have the bandwidth to tackle it themselves, or they might not have the ecosystem to be able to tackle it themselves. Okay. So you are going to be working with the companies and you're going to be understanding. And by the way, you're working with them not as, a consultant that comes in and solves a problem. You're going to be working them to help actually fully understand the problem. How do you frame the problem? Is this really the problem? Are there deeper issues that we have to look at, right? So you're going to help them define the problem, which is the step that most students never get trained on. The unfortunate thing about most educational programs, including engineering, is that we tend to give you the problem already and you just solve it. But we're actually missing half of the innovation cycle. Half of innovation is about accurately defining the problem, right? So in this program, you will help companies understand what the problem is. Then you're going to explore the solution space because there never is just one solution. Then you're going to help them select the right solution. How do you do that? How do you select the right solution out of an infinite array of possibilities? Well, you have to look at your values, right? You have to understand the values of the company, right? And once you select the solution, then you're in a step to implement. Now, I know we almost always jump to implementation, even the questions. We're like, am I going to do product design? Am I going to do industrial design? Am I going to do app design, right? We jump right to implementation. The challenge in innovation is, can we defer our judgment and not jump right away to the solution, but instead spend the adequate time and space to understand the problem? So the short answer to the question is, it's not just industry speakers coming in to give lectures. You are working with them and they are working with you.
Thank you very much. I'm just trying to see from our previously submitted questions. Some people are asking about the validity of their specific backgrounds. Do you think you could just reiterate which type of students we are looking for?
Yeah, and I did mention this in the presentation, but I want to reemphasize that we are not selecting people purely based on their backgrounds. In fact, we want to design a cohort with as diverse a set of technical backgrounds as possible. Okay, so we're looking for artists, we're looking for engineers, we're looking for computer scientists, business folks, folks who specialize in management, We want people who understand the human dimension as well as the physical dimension, in addition to the computer dimension, right? Because that's an increasingly important dimension of work. So the actual backgrounds, we are receptive to any and all is the short answer. But what we are looking for, we are looking for people who are curious. Okay, they really want to understand things at a different at a different level. They want to understand how the system works behind behind the curtains, right? We're looking for people who are creative. They're brave enough to go outside of their discipline and work with others and explore spaces that they haven't been before. And the word that I use in the presentation is we're looking for people with a certain vitality. We're looking for people who have the energy and the desire to grow, build, explore, co-create, right? So that's what we're looking for. So if you have those ingredients, if you feel that that is within you, then you will be the type of student we want in this first cohort. And please, I encourage you, make sure it comes across in your application, okay? Make sure it comes across.
Thank you so much. It looks like we had a super engaged session with lots of questions. Oh, and we just got another one. What is the format of this course, such as time spent on campus and time spent online or remotely? And is it possible to live in a different city in Canada for parts of the year? Our program is a 100% in-person program for 12 months. As Dr. Chow alluded to, for those industry connections, for the cohort growth process. So, no.
Yeah, and I can elaborate a bit more. Listen, I've tried it. I've tried having students remotely as part of teams. It works. You can deliver something, but it doesn't transform. It won't transform you. It won't transform the company. It works, but it's not. It's not the best. Nothing beats side by side, shoulder to shoulder with your teammates ideating together. Nothing beats, hey, company X, let's have some lunch today so we can talk about the problem that you're working on. I have an insight, right? Nothing beats that. It creates a different level of connection when you are in the same physical space. And with a program like MDes, with the intention that we have, we really can't compromise that. So you got to be here. You got to want to come to the Okanagan. You've got to want to open the possibility of living here and sinking roots here. You have to want to work with the companies here and face the problems that they're facing. And you got to want to work with the people beside you who have a very different background from you, but who you're going to learn a lot from. Okay. And you're going to want to work with faculty like me, who really care about the students. As I said right in the beginning of my presentation, I'm committed to moving ideas to tangible impact and students to change makers. Okay. So you gotta be here.
5 days a week, right?
Absolutely. 5 days a week. You get weekends though. You get weekends.
And stat holidays.
And stats. Right. We're going to be synced to the business schedule. Yeah. By design.
Thank you very much. We have time if someone has one more question, but other than that, we are going to tie this up. Thank you very much for joining us today. We are going to also have this recorded and it will be sent out to you. You can watch it again. You can send it to your friends. We look forward to seeing your emails to engineering.graduate@ubc.ca if you have any questions. I'm going to sit here for a minute to see if any more questions pop up. Other than that, we'll be closing the webinar. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.